Today's video is about hyperpigmentation and more specifically melasma. So this is actually a part 2 from a video I did almost 2 years ago talking about the best treatments for hyperpigmentation. So today's a part 2 and I'm going to share what's been working the best for me over these last 2 years. Okay, so the first video I did on hyperpigmentation was kind of a generalized information video about what treatments are available, what works the best, and then I was kind of sharing what I liked and, natural remedies, different remedies. So this video is actually on what I've been using and what has worked the best for me over, I'd say actually the last 3 years. This is the best my skin has looked in terms of like evenness and skin tone. Really what changed the game for me was I saw this amazing doctor in LA. Her name is Dr. Pearl Grimes. She is just a full specialist in melasma and hyperpigmentation. This is what she does. Even before this video, I was just like brushing up on some studies and some data. And I even found a study that she did, which I didn't even know about, but it makes sense because she's really at the forefront of this. And she's honestly been really amazing. So first, quickly, for anyone who maybe didn't see the part 1 video or doesn't know, melasma is a form of hyperpigmentation, and basically it's characterized by almost like light to dark brown patches. Most commonly it's on the cheeks, it can be on the forehead and the upper lip. Mine were really like right here. Before I got these kind of really significant patches, I noticed just darkening. Like when I would get an acne breakout, even like in college, it would take literally a month or 2 for that spot to fade. And I tried all these different things, different topicals. But anyway, that's what melasma is. It's a type of hyperpigmentation. It's basically a genetic predisposition. So a lot of people do have the gene for it. That's what they found. But it can also be worsened by UV damage, so sunlight, and it can be worsened by hormonal irregularities. So estrogen can be a factor that can make it worse. High risk populations are basically anyone with darker skin, olive skin tones. You are more likely to get it. It's funny because in the past, I would wear sunscreen, but not as religiously as I do now. So there's so many little things I've been doing now to I wish I did before that helped. So when it comes to treating hyperpigmentation or melasma, the absolute standard of care is topical lightening agents, which I'll go over, and UV protection. So you guys have definitely heard me talk about sunscreen a lot on my channel. That's one of the most important things. So we've got that. When it comes to topical agents, using a combination has been shown to be the most effective. So different things that are targeting the same issue, but with different mechanisms of action. So mechanism of action is a term used in pharmacy school a lot. Basically, how does the drug work? So you want different creams that are working in different ways to give you the same result. So this has been my regimen. It's actually been alternating a little bit. I've probably been seeing Dr. Grimes for the last 5 or 6 months, and when I'm always in LA, if I'm not traveling, I'll literally go in every 2 weeks and we'll take pictures. She's got professional camera, which I'm hoping I can pop up in this video. I'm gonna have to see if I can get them in time when I edit this, but she's got this professional camera and we can kind of see my progress every 2 weeks, and if it's not working well, then we'll adjust the medication. One more thing I want to note is that I really wanted to just kind of go all in with a laser or a peel, because in the past those would work so well for me. But then I'd noticed that it would come back within like 2 months, 3 months, sometimes a little bit longer. But every time I did a laser peel, it would come back. And she was very adamant on me not doing a laser peel and going very slow, which, to be honest, in medicine, it's kind of a common strategy, I would say, is to start low and go slow. That's also another phrase we would use learning in school. You want to treat it slowly, because with hyperpigmentation or melasma, if you go too aggressive and your skin peels or gets irritated, that post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, they call it, can actually make you worse. So if your skin gets too irritated, you might just start back 3 steps behind where you were. So she was pretty adamant on no lasers. She's like, I might give you a laser, but not until you're really at a good baseline. And so right now we've just been using topicals, and I had to be patient, but it's been working. So here's what I've been doing. First, I was using Hydroquinone morning and night. Right now, I'm just using it at night, layered with other products. So I know Hydroquinone has a lot of controversy behind it. It's banned in some countries. It's not banned in the US. I definitely won't be on this forever. If I had a choice, I would love to not be on it. There are some natural alternatives. Lytera is one that even pregnant women can use. So that's something that I can't wait to go on. The data that's out there really doesn't show the strength that this is being used at, just topical. Also, like a lot of the side effects that were showed in some of the studies showed people who would use it and then go out in the sun without sun protection. So you really have to look at a study and see what it's showing you. You can't just say someone used hydroquinone and it was a carcinogen. You have to be like, well, how much were they using? How often were they using it? How long were they in the sun without protection? So there's different factors that go into it. So I'm going to be on this for a pretty short period of time. I think I'm actually going to be getting off of it pretty soon. If I were to start with Lytera, it would have taken maybe 2 to 3 times the amount of time to even get me at this baseline, which it's probably hard in this video to see, but I do still have it. So this was kind of like the quicker but not too aggressive approach, whereas afterwards I can, get onto something else that's maintenance. So hydroquinone I'm using every night, and then every night I layer it with something else. For the first month or 2, I was using it morning and night, and in the morning it was just this. Now it's every night. So that's kind of my base. Before I layer the product with anything else, I give myself usually 30 minutes. If I'm just getting to bed and it's late and I don't have enough time, I'll give myself 10 minutes. But I kind of got in the habit of washing my face right after dinner, maybe 2 hours before bed, so I could put on the hydroquinone, let it sit for a little while, and then layer it on another product, which is kind of just a good habit to get into with skincare products anyway, because the longer you let one sit before you apply the other, the more effective they will both be. So this is the retinol I'm using 2 nights a week. This is the glycolic I'm using the other 2 nights a week. Really, one ends up being 3 nights a week, one ends up being 2. I have it on a schedule. 1 night a week, I'm doing this this is her version of a peel pad. So a pretty popular peel pad right now is the Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads. This is similar. She actually used to have this in a peel pad, but now she gave it to me like this. This is a combination of glycolic, salicylic, and lactic. So this is a bit stronger, and we're only using this 1 day a week. So 1 night a week, I'll use this first, and then I will layer it with the hydroquinone. Every other night of the week, I'm putting this on first and layering it with everything else. So got that one. Then we've got this one, which is the Bleach 5.5 cream. This is kind of like a hydroquinone, but a higher strength. I'm only using this once every 10 days. I actually originally I was using it once every 7 days. On the nights that I use this, I obviously don't layer it with this one because they're the same exact product. It's just this one's stronger. And this one I only spot treat. So I'm only putting it on these patches that I've got one down here. We move me from once every 7 days to once every 10 days because she doesn't want my skin to become dependent on it. So I'm assuming next time I see her, we'll even taper this down a little bit more. So we're already on the decline with hydroquinone, which I'm happy about because I definitely don't want to be on it, but I just want to keep it real in this video. It is the only thing that's really worked for me, using it consistently. So lastly, I've been using the cysteamine cream. I'm going to pop this up on the screen so you guys can see the spelling. This is a newer one on the market, and everyone is really excited about this one because it's much safer than hydroquinone, and a lot of studies have shown that it can be just as effective. She has me on this one in the mornings. So if you look up this medication, a lot of times you'll see that people will use it at night, sometimes for 15 minutes or longer. For whatever reason, she has me on it in the morning, so that's my regimen. Everyone's different. Medicine is not always black and white. But I would basically put it on for 15 minutes and then rinse it off and then just do my normal skincare. We've now bumped me up to 30 minutes. She's probably seeing that I've been able to tolerate it well. There was one point where my skin felt a little bit flushed and pink, and if that continued, we were going to take me off of it. But as of right now, it's been totally tolerable. I'm actually excited to see if I can just be on this one, not the hydroquinone, but that's what I'm using right now in the mornings. I do want to quickly go over what I just talked about and let you know how they all work, just so you guys can have a little more of an understanding of why people use these. So let's just rewind a little bit. The hydroquinone is basically blocking the production of melanin. So melanin is what gives us that color to our skin, but if you have an overproduction, that's when you can get the dark patches. So that's what hydroquinone's doing. Cysteamine, the one that I talked about last, actually does the same thing, but in a different way. So that's also very common in medicine. Like I said, you've got a lot of drugs that do the same thing, but kind of at a different angle. So with hydroquinone, the byproduct of it, a lot of times people have said can be unsafe, whereas cysteamine is not unsafe. So it does it from different angles and supposedly is showing to be just as effective. So the verdict is out on that. This one, the 3 different peels, the lactic, glycolic, and salicylic, peels in general are just resurfacing. So this is also a huge standard of care for hyperpigmentation and dark spots. When you have resurfacing, you're just getting rid of like maybe the top layer of your skin, you're letting new cells grow in. It means it's an anti-inflammatory effect. You can have more cell turnover. So resurfacing in general is great. When you get a peel in an office, oftentimes it's one of these peels, but just much stronger. So that's when the doctor will put it on your face. That's when you actually will peel. I have had no peeling from this because I'm just using it one night a week and it's been pretty mild for me. The glycolic that I'm using twice a week, this one has been really popular. So glycolic is in here, but it's also just this one individual. This is the most popular of all of the acids, I would say, because the molecular weight is smaller, so it can penetrate the skin a little more easily. Some people think it's more effective. Either way, it all depends on the person and how you tolerate it. Some people really like lactic, some people like glycolic. So that also probably is why I've been going in every 2 weeks to see how I'm tolerating everything and how everything's working. So for me, I really liked it. I haven't had any reaction to any of these. All of these work better in conjunction with each other. So that's called a synergistic effect, like synergy, things work better together. Even, for the hydroquinone, it works better when it's often combined with a corticosteroid or, different anti-inflammatory agents. So a lot of these work better together. This has been working really well for me. I hope this wasn't confusing. Honestly, as I was saying it, I was like, I hope this isn't a big jumble of words and it makes sense. I genuinely have a note in my notes in my iPhone. I have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I just have what I have on there. I have in my calendar every 10 days to use the bleach 5.5 cream, so I remember. So it's been working for me. Overall, it's a really annoying condition, and also it will never go away. That's the frustrating part. If you have it, it's just something you have and you have to maintain it. So I'm really grateful for the natural options that are available. So once I get to baseline, I will be able to maintain it on that, and I'll feel comfortable being on that every day. Whereas this is not something I'd want to be on forever. Actually, when I went to see Dr. Grimes the first time, she didn't know I was a pharmacist, so I was asking all these questions and she was like, okay, slow down. I was like, but I can't use hydroquinone when I'm pregnant. She was like, okay, one step at a time. I won't have you on it for that long, so we don't need to worry about that right now. It's just going to be a short period of time, and then we'll get you to baseline. So that's been my regimen. Again, it is a bit individualized to the person, but I hope this helped you guys, give you some general info, and I wanted to just be honest and real on what's been working for me. A lot of people on Instagram have been asking why my complexion looks so much better lately, and this is why. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions on anything, let me know. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.